Hello and welcome to game number 2 of the semi-finals for the AMD Premier League. One of these two teams will be fighting up against Tong Fu in the grand finals tomorrow. But first they have to beat one another, or at least, one of these two is going to be doing that. We already have got Zenith with one game up. They managed to beat MUFC in the previous game. And we're going to see if MUFC can force out a game number 3. Because this is game number 2, and I say we are gonna see that because we are both myself as well as Baseskip. Welcome back.
Hey Shiver, glad to be back. And yeah, game 2. MUFC, it looked so good, so many great moments in that last game for them, but just couldn't quite get it, couldn't quite keep the goal pushing out, couldn't quite hold on to the map long enough for Alchemist and DK to become relevant. So this game, it's a clean slate. Hopefully nobody is feeling down about what happened, and we are, ready to go. And Zenith, they picked themselves up Lone Druid, so definitely a staple for them.
Yeah, basically also the only hero that has a bit of a, that made it through yet. Previous round he was banned out. That's what I mean. We have the Bat Rider, Lifestealer again banned out, as well as a Magnus. Now the Shadow Demon getting banned out. So the first pick being the Lone Druid. We still have the Nyx Assassin in the pool though. If MUFC wants to pick that up, they can. Gyro, Darkseer, everything's still there. So what are you expecting that MUFC is going to be doing?
I don't think you leave the Nyx Assassin here, and then you've got to get started on your anti-Lone Druid strategy. Because as soon as you see the Lone Druid, you got to think that Zenith are going to be looking to aggressively tri-lane and have the Lone Druid as the solo save. So not only do you need to start securing your tri-lane, you need to start thinking about your solo against that Lone Druid as well. But looks like they're just going to try and start locking out the mid. So picking up the Nyx Assassin and the Quap. And I do like it when you see the Lone Druid, you got to think it's going to be 1-1 aggressive tri-lane, and that means you have to have the tools ready for that 1v1 and the other 1v1.
Yeah, and they pick up with the Queen of Pain already, of course, a lot of mid-game aggression. And kind of already having a hero that can be more active than the Lone Druid can. And therefore can try to lay down a stamp on the game before Lone Druid is big enough to do anything about it. So they're going to be seeing if they can do that. We see Darkseer pick up, so that's the solo lane for Zenith, even though, as you pointed out previous game, that we have seen Darkseer on tri-lanes before, aggressive tri-lanes even, so definitely not something that we can write off just yet. And they are thinking about their last pickup before we go into the next banning phase after MUFC, of course, did their pickup, but they have one more chance, and it's the Rubik. So not really giving anything away, I guess, as in terms of what they're going to be doing with their lanes. Yeah,
nothing too obvious just yet. Obviously, Darkseer's got a ton of flexibility, so he's going to be able to fit into the lineup whoever. And I think had the Darkseer not been taken here by Zenith, MUFC might have looked to take it themselves, again talking about the fact that they need somebody to try and solo against the Lone Druid if Zenith are going to look to go aggressive, and Darkseer one of those heroes that does cope with that lane quite well. So MUFC, I'm very interested to see what they're going to put up the Lone Druid, if it's going to up against the Lone Druid, if it is going to be if it's going to be that solo versus solo.
Well, they pick up a Gyrocopter, still a lot of options for them. We could, in theory, see every single one of these heroes that they have picked up solo. So really not giving that much away, though. I think we can expect Gyrocopter to be the carry hero, to be the Nyx Assassin and support and Queen of Pain on the solo lane mid. And is it then going to be an aggressive trial lane, perhaps? With the Gyro? And then having something still up against the Lone Druid, which could be anything still that they haven't picked up yet, like a Clockwork?
The problem if they go aggressive, if Zenith even get the slightest hint of it, then they've got their tri-lane. So they've got two options, right? Either they could dodge the tri-lane and put the Darkseer there, which is effectively, a 3v1, that's where Darkseer excels. He's on his safe lane as well. And then they can send the Lone Druid to the off lane where he's going to get his good matchup. Or if they feel confident about taking that tri-lane versus tri-lane anyway, they're on the safer, they're on the safer side of the map. So MUFC, I think if they're going to go aggressive, it needs to be a lot of bans on the tri-lane. If they're not going to look to go aggressive, I'd expect more bans going the way of mid. So far we've seen a little bit more in the tri-lane, though we'll see where we head from here. The Juggernaut ban makes a lot of sense with the Lone Druid, just because you don't want to have that pushing combo coming at you.
Still the Clockwork banned out. taking kind of a bit of pride in that, as I suggested that as a pickup from UFC. But yeah, in terms of bans, I mean, everything right now is so open that it's just really the combinations that you have to look for that you don't want to be facing rather than anything else. So they ban out the Nyx Assassin with the Lina, for example, a lot of burst damage there. They ban out the Clockwork that can go on a safe lane anywhere. And that's just really annoying to deal with, not only for just on the lane, but in team fights in general. And UFC have it a bit easier. They are banning out carries that will go together with the Rubik, as they know that Lone Druid is going to be solo from Ice Ice Ice.
So MUFC are weakening the tri-lane. So they're feeling, A, confident in the ability of their Queen of Pain to match up against whoever that's going to be. I'd expect just to see a puck combos really nicely with the Darkseer, you know, vacuum people out of the Dream Coil, always nice to get a guaranteed stun, and obviously no more AoE setup is always great to have. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. So that's probably gonna, just by lack of bans, I think mid is going to be a fairly even lane. MUFC potentially looking to go aggressive, but they have to have something up their sleeve to deal with this Lone Druid, because they cannot leave him in a 1v1 to just do his own thing.
Well, potentially
yeah, I mean,
they still have, you know, they have a setup stun with the Nyx Assassin. They can go for a Leshrac or something.
10 seconds
and
remaining.
they can then go for an aggressive tri-lane if they really want to do that.
5 seconds.
But it's
seconds
a tricky one.
Yeah, if I think one, I kind of just want to just like throw Bane out there right now, because I don't feel like MUFC have a ton of ways to deal with the Lone Druid just yet. And having that sort of shuts down the Lone Druid off lane, the chance of that happening, and also just, you know, the Enfeeble is fantastic as well. But looks like MUFC really targeting this tri-lane, so either they're feeling afraid of an aggressive tri-lane from Zenith to set up the Lone Druid for an easy time, or they're looking to go aggressive themselves, just try and, you know, get the game off to a good start, and then try and, you know, get things done before the Lone Druid becomes too relevant, because he isn't a hero that just gets to level 6 and says, okay, now I'm going to go and gank, I'm going to go and do things. Doesn't really fit in that role. So if MUFC can execute an aggressive tri-lane successfully, then they're going to be off to a good start, because the Lone Druid is going to lack that space to really get rolling, especially if they manage to find someone who can do okay 1v1 against the LD, but it's tough to find.
We're gonna see what they're gonna be finding. UFC actually only have 45 seconds left into their bonus time, Zenith a bit more. But they're taking heavily into it. I mean, they're using their bonus time right now with these bans. And now also with these picks. Really not really quite sure about what they want to be doing. And I guess we can see that as a sign that the bans of MUFC were quite successful. So Zenith just a bit, well, unsure about what they can expect from MUFC and how they're gonna be countering it. I'm kind of curious to see what they're gonna be picking up, and it can be so many things. That's the deal. Like,
yeah, I mean, they could.
So many options.
I think a fairly obvious support for them is to consider the Leshrac, just by virtue of having the Lone Druid. They've already got some pretty good push, so, you know, putting a little bit more on top of that isn't too bad. But ooh, we're gonna see ourselves some Tinker, so that's probably going to be, more than likely going to be on mid, though. It doesn't have an amazing time against the Quap, and I'm thinking Zenith may be looking to go kind of greedy here.
Yeah, just put Darkseer
we'll
in the jungle and still have a carry together with the Rubik Lone Druid on the off lane.
Yeah, something like that. They could even have Tinker as the safe lane farmer, Rubik supporting him, Darkseer is jungling, Lone Druid on the off lane, and then still pick up a mid to finish things up. Though that, again, that's extremely greedy to only run the single support. And I think MUFC would be able to get a pretty good punish going on that, especially since they're still in a good position to finish up, you know, and flesh out an aggressive tri-lane right now. And, you know, look no further than Leshrac for that.
Yeah, they again, a hero that I called. I'm kind of happy with that again. But they still need an offlaner if they're going to be going for the aggressive tri-lane. They still need a safe laner. Can be, of course, a lot of options. They could even go for something even more mid-game. Like, I don't know how aggressive they want to be making it, because I'm kind of thinking maybe it's not going to be a Storm, but it could be a safe lane Storm. I mean, you're going to be up against a Lone Druid. You have to, of course, realize that. So it can't be a squishy hero. It has to be someone that can survive at least until Lone Druid is level 5, because when he reaches level 5, really nobody is safe with an Entangle. There's just no chance. So that's going to be a lot more tough to deal with, as well. Zenith This is all the time they have left. 12 seconds, and then they have to
10
choose something.
seconds remaining.
Is it gonna be the greedy lineup that you said, like just picking up another carry,
5
stick
seconds
that Darkseer
remaining.
inside that jungle, or maybe Tinker in the Ancients? I mean, it could even be that, and they pick up a Skywrath Mage, and
Okay.
with that, I'm kind of thinking Skywrath Mage mid, Tinker safe lane, aggressive tri lane, or aggressive dual lane with a Rubik somewhere floating around. I mean, in theory, Lone Druid on the suicide lane, Tinker on the bottom lane, Skywrath on the mid lane. You don't need nobody else. Rubik can go wherever he wants to. He's not needed specifically on any lane.
Yeah, I mean they could also try lane
10
Darkseer, Rubik, and
seconds
Skywrath, though that's kind of lockdown light, and then just solo
5
the Tinker
seconds
and the
remaining.
Lone Druid. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing some Tinker play. Regardless, I think he's always a fun hero to watch, especially when he's played at this level. And MUFC, oh, what's it gonna be? I mean, I almost want to say Weaver, but you don't want to take him against that Skywrath Silence. You don't want to really take him, that much against the Lone Druid. And looks like MUFC also giving pause. We might see them with not much reserve time left either. So you can see a lot of thought going into this draft for sure.
And just an off laner or safe laner, whichever they wanna do
10
first.
seconds remaining.
Which hero can really stand up against that Lone Druid on lane? Oh well, Axe can.
Wow.
But is Axe gonna
Axe.
solo lane or is he gonna go into the jungle? He is gonna solo lane. Too fucking good, picks him up. I like it.
I think Axe is kind of an underrated pick as far as going aggressive really early, but the instant that the game turns around on Axe, it gets away from him so quickly. So if things start off good and they stay good, then I think MUFC have made a really nice choice. But as soon as they get stopped, as soon as they lose a team fight to a big Darkseer wall, lots of March of the Machines, it's going to be tough. And I don't know if Axe is even scales well enough without getting a ton of kills to be able to be
10
relevant
seconds.
in
10 seconds
what looks
remaining.
like could be the pretty extreme late game of this
5
game,
seconds
How
remaining.
especially with
about-
Tinker and Darkseer stalling.
How about Huntress player on a safe lane solo and Axe on the aggressive tri lane? Or did you just say that? No, I don't think you did. Did you?
No, it could be.
Prepare for battle.
I haven't seen a lot of aggressive tri lane Axe, but
Me neither.
definitely a possibility. Dark also does actually do okay against the Lone Druid in the 1v1, so we
Yeah,
should
Fleck
see.
kinda harass
With
him
their-
back. We just had a very long break, and now he needs a toilet break. Or maybe
Well, I
he's
mean,
just
he's been-
nervous.
He's probably been sitting there with his legs crossed the whole draft, like trying to make all these very intense decisions, and now he just wants to go. So.
It's like playing hide and seek. You
Yeah.
don't have to go until you're sitting somewhere where nobody can see you. I know I'm not the
Exactly.
only one that has that. Everybody that plays hide
don't
and
know how-
seek knows what I'm talking about. If you're
I don't know
playing
how
hide and
recently I've played hide and seek.
no, but you remember how it was, right?
Yep. Definitely.
You didn't have the same issue, or you did?
No, I don't know. My memory is kind of shoddy.
I'm gonna
so
assume that you
it's
did
probably-
because there's nobody playing hide and seek when they are the ones that are hiding that don't have to go to the bathroom when they just are, hiding. Anyways,
I know.
we have a go. We're gonna be seeing XY
Yeah, let's talk about
play
who's
the
playing.
Tinker. Yeah, we're gonna have Ice on the Rubik on the Radiant side. We're gonna have a Courier there, a Smeevil, and we have X Freedom playing the Darkseer. With where are we going? We are going towards Ice Lone Druid. I'm thinking he's roaming around, but what is he actually doing? Yeah, he should be roaming around, leaving mid to Yamate, and then we have got the bear. Oh yeah, that was Yamate's Skywrath Mage. So that was actually everybody. You're
Yep.
you're right.
And over on the side of MEFC, we have FCFC playing the Queen of Pain, so going to be taking that towards mid. WWK or TFG is going to be on the Axe. ABC or Ling on the Leshrac. Winter is going to be on the Nyx Assassin. And meanwhile, on the top half of the map, Trash Han player or Han Trash player is going to be on the Gyrocopter. He's been pulled to Wraith Band and some regen as well. So ready for this matchup against the Lone Druid.
Yeah, and this time not a
So-
aggressive start to the game with 6 kills before minute 1, But still, MUFC scouting out if there should be someone there. We are going to be having an aggressive trail lane. Rubik will try to help out Tinker on the safe lane, so that is going to be a Tinker safe lane. We are going to see the Skywrath Mage mid. We are going to see the Darkseer inside that jungle. And we are going to see the solo long lane from Ice up against a solo Gyrocopter. So it is an Axe trail lane.
Yeah, so it's all, for Zenith, it's all about just lasting through this tri lane, basically. They don't want X Freedom to come and have to do too much. Ice is going to have to be very defensive. XY is going to have to be very defensive. Meanwhile, MUFC, it's going to be none of that, and TFG to start things out as well, looking to intercept the creep wave at bot. So already making life tough.
Yeah, and there was actually an Iron Shell for one of the creeps, but it just wore off. I mean, this is something that we have actually seen done. Was a while ago, but was an important match as well, and I'm not sure who did it, but it was with an axe and some other heroes that are just very strong early game, and they just continuously took all the waves, pushed all the towers, and were in, well, getting a GG out in 9 minutes in the end. And I really am not sure who did that. I remember it, but I don't know how and what. I think it was with MTW on the losing side, at least. I'm not sure. Anyways, we are going to be seeing how XY deals with it, because he did pick up March of the Machine, so he can get the creeps down. He does take a bit of harassment from the creeps, but that's normal. The supports actually are roaming around from MUFC, so seeing if they can do something here. Of course, they know that the Darkseer is in that jungle. And in the meantime, Too Fucking Good is just doing the same thing as you can do with the Darkseer. Just tower skip those creeps.
Yeah, he's getting all of the experience right now. Winter comes in and soaks up a little bit to get his level 2. But XY, he picks up the March. It's going to help deter the tower dives, but when there's a full creep wave coming in every single time, I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop MUFC just running straight underneath this tower. No. And yeah, they ping it out. They've got vision.
Yeah, they know that Ice is there. They clear the trees. They actually missed the stun on himself. Oh, Leshrac, he's going to stick around. They know this, though. They know that he's there. They can't go in, though. Unless they get help.
Yeah.
Oh. Ling, gonna find him out. Here comes an Impale. He's already level 2 up on Winter. Ice is gonna get Split Earth, Impaled. And that is gonna be the first blood going away of Too Fucking Good's axe. With Winter able to get himself away. Ling able to get himself away. And no towers to do anything about it. And Too Fucking Good just continues going.
And no real heroes to do anything about it right now either. Again, the Lone Druid, not someone who's going to be able to rotate. So XY in a kind of compromising position right now.
Yeah, very good. They know that he's there. They find him. They get the Impale. They get the Split Earth as well. And the Battle Hunger. Here comes the TP. They cannot actually do something. Telekinesis helping out tower. Also, maybe, no, not helping out, and now it helps out, but the target is already dead. XY gets the kill, pops himself. We still have Ling around here. He'll try to run, but he won't be able to. Gets the Split Earth off, but can't get a kill with that. 2 kills going the way of Zenith. And actually, that's enough to turn this lane into favor of Zenith right now.
Yeah, I mean, a big dive from MUFC, and unfortunately, Axe dying, clears the Battle Hunger, so... Not so great. XY has got his Soul Ring picked up if he wants it. Probably going to be seeing some boots before that point, I would expect, though. Just given how aggressive MUFC are being. But, yeah, MUFC, I mean, all the way behind the tower. It looked like they had everything under control, but you can't underestimate that early march. So, a nice body block from Ice as well, I have to point out. Yeah. In that little skirmish.
Definitely. Rubik helping out after dying, of course. First, we see that Too Fucking Good decided to change his game plan, is now just last hitting in front of enemy tower. Winter level 3. I'm quite surprised to see the supports being fairly high level when walking in. Level 2, level 3 now up on the Nyx. I mean, they haven't been able to get that much, but enough to get those levels up, and actually almost the same level as the Darkseer. So really nice. Ice now level 4 with, of course, those 2 kills on the board on the bottom lane, and we actually have Ice checking for the rune, can't find it, and so far he is level 4. Can't really do too much in that top lane. Where actually Leshrac is there now as well to try and help him out, as we see that FC is taking a bit of harassment there, but he is fine. He has got an Invis rune. He's got 14 for 8, with the Yamate sitting on 16 for 10. Slightly ahead.
Yeah. And Huntrash player's done a really great job on top of just harassing the bear down. And at level 1, he actually managed to find Ice, so his hero, and get a full rocket barrage out on him while he was trying to pull the creep wave around, so... that forced ice, well, that forced ice decides to pop his salve a little bit early, and I mean that's why we do see that the Gyrocopter had a bit of an advantage on this top lane. Just those early plays going before the bear was too strong.
Yeah, and talking about bears being too strong, he is level 5, so the entangle is possible, as we have X-Freedom running away with a surge from that Battle Hunger that is now level 2. But entangles are on the board, so we're gonna see how lucky that bear is gonna get, because once the entangle was there, that might be the start of a kill going the way of Ice Ice Ice, regardless of how well Huntress player is really doing in terms of last hits. We are gonna be seeing FC maybe even going down. He blinks away, gonna be able to be just fine. If Yamate would have had level 6 there already, he only just turned at level 6. That would have been
yeah, had he had the Mystic Flare,
that would have been a kill. As we have now a dive up on the bottom lane, they're actually going to be going into the forest again. I mean, the trees are still gone, why not, right? Winter taking a bit of harassment, has to go back already. He can't stand in the March of the Machines, and XY is going to be just fine.
Yeah, but now March is on cooldown.
Oh, the creep wave comes in, and they go, finding him. Here comes an Impale, hello! Hello Split Earth, and hello Kill. Going the way onto Leshrac. Ling getting a bit of extra gold, hasn't picked up any pointed edict just yet, so if they want to push the tower they have to use this force of the creeps. But overall this bottom lane doing pretty well for MUFC, even though, well, I would say I say doing pretty well, but they did of course die once, so it's not going too bad yet for Zenith, but they can't really find the freedom to farm, I guess. 15-2 only on XY, and in terms of net worth that really amounts to almost nothing at all. Still second highest of his team, but 2 heroes of MUFC and 1 hero of his own team still higher than he is on the safe lane farming.
So not great.
Nope.
MUFC is still doing a good job, but I don't know if the axe is. I mean that death at bot, obviously it's not going to be enough to, you know, stop him keeping it rolling for this whole game, but the axe train, it needs to have nothing in its way. He needs to just keep pushing through, keep getting kills, get the farm, stay just ahead of the curve in terms of damage as well, to the point where, you know, he doesn't quite get bursted down in fights. And again, I mean, MUFC, I think we need to see an early tower or something like that from them. Otherwise, Zenith, the greedy lineup is going to pay off as we head towards the late game.
Yeah, they did rotate the lanes a bit. We have got X-Freedom now on the bottom lane, trying to push the lane back out with his Iron Shell, just to delay what you just said, the pushing down of towers. They've got the Ancients being taken down by the Tinker. And of course, they still have the rest the same, but they basically abandoned that jungle. I'm gonna be having too fucking good, getting harassed a lot by the Iron Shell and the tower. Look at that. Popping herself to stay alive, but is going to be able to help push down the tower though. I mean, at some point this tower is going to fall, and it's rather sooner than later, as we have got entangles being searched for. Ice actually still continuing to walk forward, but is gonna, now he's going to dive this. He knows that Ice is around there, the telekinesis is going to be there. He's going to be helping out. There he goes, and that is going to be the Gyro probably going down. A bear getting a bit of extra speed. There's the entangle. That's the one you want to have, and that's Ice getting a kill with the help of Ice. Quadra Ice. I know, it's bad pun. Oh, FC taking a lot of harassment from that Yamate.
Yeah, Yamate and XY find him and almost dies in the duration of the silence, but not quite. Meanwhile, Tier 1 taking it bot, so MUFC get that first tower down, that first tick in the box. Probably, well, turning their attention towards other lanes just a little bit now. And TFG with a very aggressive build picks up a Vanguard, so I think expect even more dives. But now that Zenith kind of know that the push is going to be coming in one of 2 lanes, that's going to be all that much easier for them to respond. So yeah, I like the cute aggressive plays from MUFC, but I think, you know, the clock is ticking. They just got to keep going. They got to keep working it out, and, you know, continue to pick up kills.
Gotta be keeping to be on that flow. Otherwise, I mean, the moment that a Tinker gets his boots of travel, taking down towers is going to be a lot harder for MUFC to do, but they need to continue doing it. I mean, for one, it's needed to get actually to your enemy's base at some point, but just in general, they need to keep the pressure on to avoid any kind of fight orchestrated by Zenith, because if they get a choice to get that fight going, you have got your vacuum into a Mystic Flare, March of the Machines, can't run away, entangles, telekinesis, and just a lot of difficulties that they are going to be running into, so they need to have the pressure on, and so far, well, maybe with the Vanguard now up on the axe, they might be able to continue to do that on the bottom lane, and the meantime on the top lane, the bear Just trying to look for maybe an entangle up on Ling. Ling is in. Oh, there's an entangle. Look at the damage, but here comes Unthresh player, forcing him back with the Rocket Barrage. But one entangle, and Ling is down to half HP, below half even.
Yeah. So it looks like TFT is going to wait around to try and farm up some arcanes, I would suspect, or something by way of mana regen. I was really hoping to see a Bassi somewhere on the team just a little bit earlier to help enable these pushes, but the supports couldn't quite get the gold, so a little bit unfortunate there.
We do, of course,
but
have
FC?
yeah. We do have the Ring of Aquila.
Oh yeah, there's one up on Gyro, but I meant for somebody who is going to be
Yeah,
yeah, aggressively pushing the bottom lane. Yeah.
Gyro is not going to be that one. I'm kind of the one that I'm thinking about is indeed I think you were about to say that like FC is the one that's the Queen of Pain, considered to be the hero to, you know, do something mid game to get the odds in your favor, and he can't really get his foot in the door, and that is Skywrath Mage doing. Of course, that silence really hurting him so much.
Yeah, that silence is just such a nuisance, and it makes, yeah, FC has to be so careful. He has no, you know, no reliable escape, especially with such a low cooldown on that silence as well.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a Zenith that smokes up, and they're gonna be finding Winter. Winter is gonna be silenced and picked up and burned down so fast. Hope he has a TP. Axe already actually TP'd top. So indeed the TP was there just in time, or more than just in time, I guess. Ice is gonna be running for his life. Too fucking good. Looking for that Berserker's Call. It's gonna be able to get it as well. Rocket Barrage, cooldown, Ice. They're gonna be iced. Oh, yes.
We got there in the end.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I'm trying. They're just bad puns. It was A for effort, I believe. I'm sure they're
So
betting
Ice
myself
gets
right
his
now.
hands on call down, so that's a push to all mid. Yamate in trouble. There's a silence up on FCSC, but it's not going to be enough. One more right click from Winter finishes that one up.
And that's not even the Sonic Wave or the Vendetta used for that. That's actually only Vendetta up just now. He got level 6 with that kill. Quite surprising that he actually got that. But they were able to do that just with burst damage alone, with the Scream and the Impale. And of course, I mean, they just killed off a level 8 target because he was level 8, so that indeed gave Winter half a level, or just and then some, I think. So now level 6 is going to be able to make a lot happening on the map as well, as we're going to see Tinker in the meantime having his boots of travel ready. So he'll be able to make a difference on the map.
Yeah, wow. So, I mean, XY. This is crazy farm. I don't know if there was already a stack or two of Ancients up for him, but 12 minutes, you know, boots of travel. That is not an unhappy, you know, time period. That's not really slow by most people's standards, and especially getting that against an aggressive tri-lane that was diving his tower at every opportunity. That's kudos to him. You know, getting a lot of the jungle, getting a lot of the Ancients, being very efficient with his time.
Yeah, and he is now highest on top of net worth for his team, but there is still Nax that is higher. And I have to say, both Gyro and Queen of Pain are pretty close next to him. The only difference is, of course, though, that Zenith actually had... Whoa, too fucking good. He's gonna get slowed. Is he gonna be able to stay alive here? Yes, he is. For now. Oh, or not. Ice. Trouble. For him. Cooldown is there. And that is gonna be actually Ice going down. Was that a cooldown?
Looks like a bit of...
No? Yes?
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a disagreement as to whether or not they should have gone for that one. Because Ice walked out pretty far for Rubik there.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you were backing off. I didn't know Ice was gonna stick behind. We have Ling and Winter smoking up, going back top probably. Let's see if they can do that first before I finish my train of thought. Vendetta is gonna be used for that. I think they realized that. Looking for freedom. You're gonna be able to impale him in time. Nope, not gonna be able to do that.
Not enough mana.
Not enough mana, actually. You're right. That's a bit of a shame. But the thing that I wanted to say is, like, you've got two supports on MUFC, both the Leshrac as well as the Nyx Assassin, doing really nicely. But there was only one real support up on Zenith. The other one was in the jungle. So we have 4 farming heroes up on Zenith, 3 up in MUFC, and that's going to put Zenith a bit in favor. But looking at the gold graph, that difference is really not there anymore. It's going back and forth, back and forth. The difference is minimal, and the experience graph shows the same thing, even though it was a bit in favor of Zenith at the start. And then that's of course the jungle hero making a difference, and it goes back a bit towards MUFC at the end.
Yeah, I just I kind of feel like Zenith have already weathered the storm as far as this Axe is concerned. He's level 9, he's doing pretty well, but he's not, you know, spectacularly ahead of the curve in terms of experience. And picking up these phase boots as well, I mean, we don't have a single pair of arcanes up just yet on the side of MUFC. If you want to fuel these pushes, I mean, I think you have to have a pair at least somewhere. And Zenith are already starting to turn these already starting to get some pushes going of their own. So it's so tough. And with the Boots of Travel on Tinker, he's always got a safe target to TP2 in the bear. I don't know if we see another tower fall for Zenith, at least without them, you know, going down, kicking and screaming.
I guess it will come down to the Blink Dagger that... Oh, I thought that X actually was going to go to a Blink Dagger, because I think you're right. I mean, X is normally a hero that you're going to be snowballing with, you know, that you surprise your enemies with and you snowball out of control, you get the game real fast. But right now that moment is over and now he has to be all, you know, conservative and actually thinking about what he's going to do instead of just being manly X and running in and killing stuff. And that's tough, and especially tough if you don't have a Blink Dagger. He is going to get slowed to make sure that Ice can get away here. And right now the pressure is no longer on X's shoulders, but it rotates towards the Gyrocopter's shoulders, and he is not really ready to do anything yet. We still have also, of course, FC not really able to do anything just yet, and Zenith, they have their Tinker that's gonna be delaying the game for as long as they want to have it delayed, and they're gonna be having their Lone Druid farmed up in the meantime. They're gonna be having their Skywrath Mage getting a sheep stick in the meantime. They're looking okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, MUFC, they're going to bounce their way across the mid lane, but, I mean, XY, if he's being diligent, should be able to get there. Oh, the dive behind the tower.
Oh, the smoke just came off. So they saw that. At least, yeah, X-Freedom saw that. The pings going off were enough to warrant everybody of Zenith to stick behind their towers and being super safe.
Radiant structures are
so this is no longer a surprise. This could actually be a surprise. Zenith surprising MUFC that MUFC knows, or doesn't know that Zenith knows that they're there, if that makes sense.
I think so.
Gankception, that's what I mean.
And Ice gets another tower bot. I mean, he's just doing everything on the map. This is such an aggressive TP from him, but looks like he's going to be completely fine anyway.
Second hit entangle, doesn't get it. Third hit, doesn't get it. Fourth hit, come on, fourth hit, doesn't get it. Jesus. Nope. No 4-hit entangle. 4 hits, no entangle. And that's
needs to be using his phase boots. That or we can't see the phase boots cooldown on the bear.
Might be something. Well,
I'll keep an eye out for the buff.
In the meantime, we have 5 heroes here for Zenith, I believe. Well, 5. I say 5. I mean 4, but Tinker can be here at any moment, so in a way it's 5. Queen of Pain is having a TP of her own in her bag, so could be here top also. But in the meantime, I guess we have 4 versus 4 until those 2 last ones TP, and let's see how far they can get the tower. Of course, getting bashed down a bit by the bear. It is going to be up to MUFC to go in to stop that from happening. And they are the ones to have, I think, the more difficult position, as they are going to be going in on 2 locations at the same time. Going to get slowed down. Tinker just marching the machines while he can't get picked off himself, and it is going to be MUFC that should probably back off, because they can't get anything done anymore. Not with the Tinker there, not with the march of the machines coming off, and even FCFC wasting a TP for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said that, you know, as soon as this game turns around, as soon as MUFC are on the back foot, then I think... oh, they catch Yamate.
Catch Yamate, at least. That's nice.
Done.
But I agree with you. I mean, Zenith are holding on, and in a late game scenario in this matchup, I would give the ball to Zenith.
Yeah, and I mean, MUFC get 1 tower down. They just could never take the strength that they accumulated bot and turn it into anything else in any of the any of the other lanes. God, that took some effort. But I mean, seeing them up top just not wanting to take the fight. It's not at all the position that they want to be in. And XY is so farmed. He's already got his Blink Dagger up. I don't think, you know, there's any hope of MUFC straight pushing in. We've seen some nice moves from them trying to, you know, wrap 4 around the tower while 1 pushes in to try and get the, you know, trying to enable the pushes, but Zenith still find the openings, and yeah. And now it's even easier. They can just hawk the bear in. They can TP the Tinker onto the bear, and then he can blink into some, you know, reasonably safe trees. So they don't, even if the tower is completely surrounded by MUFC, they've still got ways to help counter push.
Yeah, we're gonna see MUFC trying to make something happen on the bottom lane again. They are back to the lanes that they started with, actually. Everybody back on the aggressive tri lane. On the mid lane, the same thing. Scouting out with Vendetta. If they can find Ice, maybe they can do something with that. There is only level 1 Vendetta, so they have to act fast. And let's see if they can act fast enough. I think they are. Winter is gonna be trying to go for this. Nope, he is not. Never mind, they back off. Now he is with the Impale at least being there. Vendetta itself not being there. No more mana for Ice as Rubik goes down in the mid lane. But we're gonna be following this one. Entangle though, is he? Yeah, he is. He is gonna be able to at least take one home with him. And that is gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. That is a trade that you did not want to make. Rubik in the meantime going down on the middle lane. Queen of Pain using her Sonic Wave for that, as we see Queen of Pain herself going down to the Skywrath Mage of Yamate. Of the greater good. What? What is he saying?
For the something.
For the
greater good, maybe.
But he has an awkward accent. Greater good.
Yeah.
Awkward. Anyways.
Yeah. Awkward as well. I think FCFC pops the double damage, just thinks I'm invincible. I've got a double damage, blinks up onto the high ground, immediately gets silenced and just dies. So that was kind of sad for him.
Sounds like awkward. Yes.
Yeah, overestimating how much he could get out of that DD and maybe expecting the Skywrath Mage not to have backup. But there's a tier 1 on mid. There are going to be heroes for Zenith, when you're on their side of the map. So yeah, a bit interesting from him. He does have his BKB finish. That's a big help. As far as these pushes go, but I mean, XY is continuing to keep top lane pushed in, so MUFC are going to have to head up to deal with that. Hontrash player has himself a Shadow Blade, but experience now back in the hands of Zenith. Gold actually gold in the hands of Zenith. Experience just barely for MUFC right now.
Well, so we're going to be seeing the experience graph actually, just 0.
Pretty much nothing.
Yeah, which is quite surprising to me, since of course we've had some exchanges. There's 2 kills difference, but I feel like Zenith is a bit ahead in that case, and it doesn't show. So it's quite interesting to see that, as we're gonna see the Entangle up on the Axe, who's gonna TP out himself just fine. So we'll be happy with that. I guess if we look at the levels and see the differences there is indeed on the top end of things the difference not that much. We still have the supports of MUFC a bit lower than the supports of Zenith, and that is a difference, but in return MUFC has got 2 level 13s while Zenith has got a level 14 and a level 12, so yeah, I guess that evens itself out a bit again, just those supports having less levels. Oh well. MUFC, when are they gonna be going for more action? Or are they just gonna be happy?
I don't know. I feel like they need to just feel like they need to be going almost already. Just, I don't feel like the long game works out well for them. There's a window of opportunity before Tinker gets his Hex, where they're going to be in a pretty good spot, but after that, I mean, Gyrocopter's farm is really going to be negated in these fights, especially beyond the duration of his BKB. So he's the only real carry that they've got going for them right now, and when there's only a single target for Tinker to focus, I mean, that makes life so easy for him. He's actually going for what looks to be a Dagon right now, so that might be an opportunity for MUFC. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that, as opposed to going for the Hex. Oh, on bot. Is it my lips?
Well, I think Axe does the same, because he just drops to a rocket. Tower goes down, doesn't get the knife. At least the Gyro was able to take the tower top as well, so he gets the tower in return. We do have all tier 1 towers on the map entirely gone. I believe this mid one, yeah, is also gone. But now 1 tower in favor of Zenith, and well, I mean, it's only 1 kill in the end, 1 kill in a tower. But in a game where there's just not that many kills, all these kills mean so much more than just the kill. That it brings a lot of control with them. XY actually coming in again. I'm not sure if that was the right choice. It doesn't look to be. I'm not sure. Why did he do that? Was he really thinking he could get kills there?
I think he thought he could get the burst damage out just by element of surprise, but yeah, it gets reflected and then gets mana burned and then just dies. So that was a little bit awkward from him. Just getting a bit greedy. And again, I think this Dagon build is kind of greedy as well. I think this might be an opportunity for MUFC here. And Hontrash player, I mean, armed with 3.2k gold, Next item, not too far away, probably just going to be the BKB.
Yeah, we've seen
Meanwhile,
him so
SSI's
far
has
going
his
for
master.
BKBs and then an MKB and then the butterfly. He's basically been doing the same thing the entire game. As I'm thinking about the right side, right? He has been the one that's been playing the gyrocopter the entire day.
Yeah, I think Contrash player has been on Gyro twice. No, wait. Contrash player was the Alchemist last game.
I'm thinking of wrong games. Jeez.
Yeah, he does play a lot of Gyrocopter though. You're right.
Well, we'll see then. My head is turning to mush apparently in some point. Must have been the cat. I'm just blaming everything on the cat.
Cat's fault.
Mhm.
Easy peasy.
So what does MUFC when is Zenith gonna move? Because you just said like, okay, MUFC, they kind of have to move because, you know, that window of opportunity is closing. But is Zenith only gonna be moving? Actually, they're gonna be moving right now because they get an entangle up on Leshrac, who's gonna be going down real fast. There we go. Gem of Truth actually with that as well, as we see FC coming in and running away again. On the side of things, we have Nyx Assassin going down. And that is 2 supports just picked up like that. The kill score even once again, and Zenith just, you know, I hold it back because, you know, I asked when they gonna do things. Well, they are doing things and they're killing off things and they're getting out the tier 2 tower. Are they gonna continue? It looks like they are.
Dire's middle tower is
No
under
buybacks.
Access the blink.
No fortification. Well, he needs to go in if they
just
want to
so
defend it. Actually, no, they back off. Realize that its supports are back up again, so it's too risky to continue to go. But that was only 1 tier 2 tower left standing on the side of MUFC.
Yeah, and they get some damage down to the tier 3 as well. So MUFC just kind of losing a war of attrition right now. It's so difficult for them to take team fights, especially in the swarm of marches. And I really feel that okay, so this is nice. They're going to go for a sneaky Roshan. But if the game was going to go well, I feel like they needed to have the Tinker, at least the Tinker locked out of it. But, you know, Zenith getting farm up on pretty much everyone right now. Yamate had a tough-ish time, but still has some core items, still has that survivability, so he's kind of fine.
Yeah, and actually we're gonna see Tinker with a Dagon, so that's gonna be fun. The Lone Druid was able to pick up the Minthra Hammer, or Maelstrom rather. Has himself an Hyperstone as well, so Mjolnir around the corner. And MUFC, they backed up from the Roshan.
It'll be an AC, I think, instead of a Mjolnir.
You can disassemble it.
Yeah.
At some point. Wasn't that something that
you can disassemble the Mjolnir, but the only benefit that you gain from a Mjolnir is it actually improves the chain lightning slightly. It doesn't. It basically just combines the 2 items into 1 slot, and if you disassemble it, because it has a recipe, you lose the recipe. So there are a couple of recipe items that you can disassemble, but.
Well, we'll find out as the bear is gonna scout out Roshan, so no more sneaky Roshan for MUFC. They might be able to kill off the bear though, splitting him up on the earth. That's really not the way to say that. Oh, but that impale misses, and he might be able to get away with that. Yeah, he does. Low bear though, still not a good thing at all. But also not good enough to have MUFC take the Roshan. With the rockets flying in.
That's not enough of a win.
Yeah. So we're gonna be seeing Zenith continuing either mid or continuing Roshan. Maybe just taking Roshan out of the way just so that nobody else can take it and they don't have to worry about that anymore. But it really depends how far they think they are ahead right now. And if they really think they are ahead, they are 5k gold ahead. In terms of experience, is really nothing whatsoever. But that's because it's even on the kills, so.
Haste.
That is that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. It ships in the night. Or Invis heroes in the middle of the trees, I guess.
Yeah, and walking past each other like nothing ever happened. And they smoke up MUFC. Can they force out a game number 3? I saw some people from the chat saying that they couldn't. But I think they still have their chance though. Like the combination is still there with the call down, the Berserker's call as well as the Split Earth and the Impale and the Sonic Wave. Like you have got some potential. We're gonna be seeing already Tinker being picked up, and that might be the start of something great because he does not have buyback, and without a Tinker they can do anything they want because that March of the Machines was the one thing that is stopping them from going into fights, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so MUFC, they get the pick off but still not feeling confident, maybe feeling that Tinker would actually have the buyback. And again, there's a bear for him to TP onto, so yeah, it's not they're not gonna go for Roshan. They're not gonna try and force it just because it could still go very badly. Hunter's Pride actually interestingly picks up a casual Talisman of Evasion and then goes back for his BKB. So just trying to avoid those entangles from the bear as best he can. So I like the pickup. He could have worked towards the Manta style as well to try and deal with the entangles, though obviously the Talisman of Evasion just a little bit more cost efficient.
I just want to have that evasion just in general. I mean, basically the bear is the only one with the real right-click damage up on Zenith right now that he really has to worry about. So if he can make him stop attacking him in any way possible, then that's always a win. And we see MUFC Roshaning again. And I'm thinking this might cost them a tier 3. They do have the fortification again, don't they?
There's no fortification. There's no TP on Ling. He's gotta get back now.
Run
There's
for
a
his run.
TP on Huntrash.
It's gonna be too late. It's gonna be tier 3 tower down and maybe even more. They go for the range Rex just because that of course goes down faster. And they will be able to pick that up. Well, why not try for the melee Rex as well? Rockets will fly, forcing them away. Bear gonna get impaled. It's gonna be called home. March of the Machines making sure nobody is chasing that. Nicely done, and the pings go off. Zenith, they are taking Roshan. Aiming to.
I have no idea why they killed the range Rex first, but...
Well, because they thought they wouldn't have time to get the melee Rex. And the range Rex...
Is there a significant...
Yeah, the armor
Is there a significant armor difference?
Yeah,
oh, right. Yeah, it is.
There's 15 armor on the melee Rex and only 5 on the range Rex.
Roshan has fallen to
Pretty big difference.
Immortality!
So it's 10 armor, it's 3%. Yeah, that's probably a pretty big deal. Yeah, you're right. So that's gonna keep the pressure on at top as well, and I mean Tinker can just give that a nudge whenever it needs. So MUFC are gonna be tending to that pretty much for the rest of the game. And I think just with that alone, whenever the Tinker is alive, he can start threatening, some damage on the tier 4s, and even once you start to run out of, I think people ignore it, but once you start to run out of ziggurats or buildings in your base, it starts to get tough, just because every single creep wave clashes straight onto the tier 4s.
Yeah, you have to basically send someone home every single time. Let's see if MUFC can get a fight going their way though. But the bear scouts it out, gets a TP on it from the Tinker. March of the Machines at the go if they wanted, looking for entangles. Can't find it for now though, but it is gonna be Ling that is already going down. Tinker getting the kill. Here comes the axe, jumping himself in. Cooldown coming in as well. Can they take someone down? They're so tanky. The Sonic Wave though does help, killing off Ice. XY on the run, getting a battle hunger up on him. Is gonna be going down, but still had the Aegis as axe drops. Fresh player backing off. It's a 2-for-1 trade right now, and an Aegis, I guess, as we have got Yamate just killing off FC with that Mystic Flare, though. Shall not blink. Gem falls on the deck. Tinker picks it up, and a fight going the way of Zenith once again, and they might be using this to push into the tier 3.
Yeah, so dice up from them. It's going to be a little bit slower since Ice is dead. But MUFC with only 3 heroes up, this is going to be kind of tough. There is a buyback if 100% necessary in FZFC, but I doubt we're going to see it used. So I think Zenith's just going to be happy with the team fight, happy with a little bit of damage, and probably just back themselves out. Yamase making some pretty good progress towards some reasonable progress towards his Hex right now as well. Oh, and Ling.
Oh, coming out a bit too far. Why? Why do you do that? Why is he there?
I mean, Zenith they've set up a perimeter right now. There's a ward in every lane. This is the line that MUFC just do not cross. So.
Dude, can draw lines. Do you see my line?
Yeah, I see the line. I can't see it on the map, but I can follow it. On the ground. Yeah.
I drew it on the ground, as in I went there.
Oh,
with my
okay.
camera.
Just scrolling and okay,
Yep.
cool.
It was fun to do. Drawing itself didn't really go as intended, but doesn't matter. The line is there, and Leshrac crossed that. I was kind of surprised, like right now, as a support Leshrac, you look at his inventory. Like he can't afford to really go out, knowing that a Tinker might TP on top of his head. A Tinker who's got himself a Blink Dagger, who can just burst him down with rockets and a Dagon and lasers. I mean, it's just too much.
And XY none too far away from his Hex either. So. That's pretty quick. The most recent significant pickup for MUFC, I think, is this Blink Dagger on Winter. So they've got even more initiation to try and combo with the axe. But, I mean, Zenith with a ton of mobility. And I'm not even sure that if Zenith find a fight where they, start in a good position, they're already going to have a double layer of March down. And just initiating to that is going to be a nightmare for MUFC.
Yeah, you really... Oh, Courier. Oh, Courier.
Dire's
Bye, Courier.
has been killed.
I have
Poor
been
Courier.
told that you can actually see the Courier. Yeah, he didn't have something interesting up on him, actually. So that's that.
My Courier hotkey is bound to one of the fog hotkeys, so I'm gonna have to get used to, I'm gonna have to change that and
You
then
can
get
actually
used
press
to
a
it.
button. No, you can't. The press button disappears, actually. Never mind. If he
No,
dies.
because it's the respawn time. Yeah.
I only read that on Reddit, like, the other day, so I didn't know.
Yep.
But yeah, we have got the push going on, of course. The bear helping out telekinesis up on Huntress player so that he gets delayed into the fight. The fight that is actually going okay for MUFC until the cooldown came down. Until the Darkseer Wall was there. And they are just scattering your Huntress player backing out. At least Winter can be getting out of there alive. But it is gonna be only him and the Queen of Pain that get out of there alive. They do manage to take down the Tinker as well as the Scarab Mage, so that's 2 high priority targets. But the highest priority, the one that is actually pushing down the towers, is still alive, which is the Bear with Master. And they're gonna be picking up again the range racks first, just in case. But they're gonna be doing the melee second, regardless. Ice is just standing by his bear.
Ice, just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, he
I don't
can't
know if
really
he's
die
really
right now anyways. They get the lane of racks and MUFC in a very tough position right now. Can they actually get back? I don't know. I would say no, but considering they don't tap out just yet, they still think yes. We have to think yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, MUFC, I mean, you gotta think like a winner, and you just gotta hope that you can take. There's always that chance of taking the one big team fight. I mean, Zenith without too many buybacks up right now, so there's definitely there's a chance, and especially when you've got a Gyrocopter, maybe there's even a little bit more than just a small chance. But yeah, obviously they are down pretty much only one lane of racks. Again, that melee barracks is still standing on top, so it's better than it looks, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, we do now have a Scythe of Ice though up on FC, so he'll be able to use that in the next fight. I mean, their fight just now started out okay, but then you had the Darkseer Wall with the vacuum and everything got turned around, and I think the cooldown actually came from the Rubik again. So he's been able to push out some more AoE damage with those team fights, and just overall, it's just more damage coming out from Zenith. And you fight in the March of Machines, as you already said. I mean, that's a given. You already have to know that you're gonna be having to try to survive that, and that's already such a tough thing to do. I mean, look at Winter's inventory. Yes, he's got a Blink Dagger and Mana Boots, which is great, but extra survivability items? Nope, none whatsoever.
Nowhere to be seen.
We do have a
And
Bracer
I
from
mean-
the Shrek, but no extra boots.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no mech, there's no pipe to help negate a bit of the damage. Oh, and FCFC. Oh.
There's that's a wasted hex, and that's gonna be.
Oh, Ling!
The Shrek,
was-
he got 3-shotted by the bear. FC gets turned. Oh, he is so gone. Impale from Ice, or for Ice rather, goes on Huntress player going down as well. Now Ice getting forced out of his base. Axe still alive. Or Ice getting forced out of his base. It's not his base. Well, now it is, I would say. The only one standing still on the base is too fucking good. Still standing at the fountain, knows that he can't do anything anymore. And the GG gets called, so it will be Zenith facing up against Tung Fu in the grand finals tomorrow. And with this 2-0 victory, MUFC, they're out. No second chances, no double elimination brackets.
Dire's top lane.
Is there no third place?
Oh, there is a
decided?
third place decider. You're right. Oh my god, I've been saying that the entire day.
Yeah, so there's a third place decider between MUFC and Rising Stars, and then and we have the grand final tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, nicely done by Zenith. 2-0, looking really strong. And the Skyroth Mage pick. I think a consistent standout in both games. So
Yeah.
showing that more teams are running it and it's working well.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Of course, yeah, I mentioned it in the first game, or one of the first games, that it was only Navi that I've seen it doing so far. But I really like seeing other teams making work of it as well. And I guess people still have to find a counter towards it, because I'm not sure how long this will last. But for now, it's going okay.
Yeah, so long as it's surprising, people are still, working out what they're gonna do to deal with it.
Exactly that. So, what are your shout outs? You can do it again.
Okay, so let's do this really quick again. Thank you, Shiva, for having me along. I'm gonna do a shout out to Ryan because I keep forgetting him. Let's do shout outs to AQ and TOH, same as always. If you guys want to give me feedback on this cast, so shout outs to you guys in chat, I would love to hear from you. An email at baseskipdota@gmail.com is probably the best. Otherwise, I'm Baseskip everywhere, so Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. That would be great if you guys could support me on my casting journey, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up from me. So again, a big thank you to Shiva.
Do people actually send emails?
No.
Oh.
I've never received an email. Nobody has ever sent me an email saying,
That sounds
Baseskip,
so sad.
this part of your casting it needs work. So here's the thing.
I think it's good.
Either it's no news is good news and I'm just doing a good job and so nobody wants to give me any negative feedback, or people just can't be bothered. So
well, people send him an email even if it's just a nice one. He doesn't get any email. Everybody should be getting email even if it's only spam. Baseskip@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to support me, you can do so on shivergaming.com. I am actually thinking I'm going to be able to jump myself into the Western qualifier of the International. And I think I'm going to be in time for Game 2 after the draft. But I will still be able to be there. But of course, they should be turning off my delay for that game. So that means that I'm going to be dropping my stream and you'll be just having to refresh when it actually gets back. But before that, I first have the outro as well as the commercial message from the sponsors coming up next. By the way, more Asian games for the AMD Premier League coming up tomorrow at 12, I believe it is. So an hour earlier than today, if I'm correct. We'll find out. I'll find out. Yeah. Anyway, thank you also for co-casting with me, and have a good night. I know it's pretty late.
It's fine. Always a pleasure.
Likewise. And let's jump ourselves out of this game. Stick around.